Coming up this hour on Chris 6 Sunrise, the fate of the Inner Harbor Desal project is in the hands of City Council again. We have a look at what's on agenda for City Council. Here's a look at what other stories we're covering in your neighborhood.
An investigation is underway in Robstown after police say a teen was shot over the weekend. I'm Stephanie Molina, and I'll tell you what we know so far and the concerns from neighbors.
What's on the industrial horizon for San Patricio County? I'm Adam Beam, and I'll break it all down for you.
Good Tuesday morning. I'm Michaela Chavez. Brian and Michelle have the day off. Let's turn it over to Stephen Jones, who's standing by with a look at your roadways before you head out the door this morning. Hey, Stephen, good morning.
Well, good morning, Michaela, and good morning, Coastal Bend. Not too bad out there today. How are you settling into the Sunrise Show, I should ask first?
I'm loving the team here, but it is a little bit difficult adjusting to the sleep schedule, trying to get a nap in, my day, another nap in.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's definitely still an adjustment. You know, I'm not sure I'm even totally settled into that sleep schedule. We're just making it through, definitely, and getting that coffee that we need. Well, we'll get it through, get through the day, and it's not too bad out there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but as we're looking at that humidity and the traffic out there today, not too bad. The humidity on the rise, but luckily no rain out there to be slowing you down as you're hitting the roadways. Let's get a good in-depth look here at the Harbor Bridge to and from Portland this morning. Looking good and green both ways, whichever direction you're heading. As we work into Corpus Christi, not too bad either. Ocean Drive, nice and green this morning. Same for SPID, Saratoga, and Crosstown Expressway over there. Just a minor slowdown as you get to SPID from Rodfield Road there. As we're looking over into Flower Bluff Drive, not too bad either. The same for Waldron Road, just the normal slowdown we see as you get closer to the gates there at the Naval Air Station. So nothing we're not used to, I should say, as we're going through our Tuesday morning. Looking at those drive times for you, 22 minutes is what we're expecting from downtown to the island, 8 minutes from Portland to downtown. About 15 minutes is what we're expecting from that Cal Allen to downtown mark, with average speeds just looking right about good. So all good and green this morning. Wherever you're coming from and wherever you're going to, going to be good and green to head out the door and then kick off your Tuesday morning.
Thanks, Stephen. We'll get to your neighborhood news in just a bit, but first, the U.S. House is expected to hold a vote today on the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. The vote comes after 4 Republicans signed a petition with Democrats to require a formal vote on releasing the files. In a sharp about turn over the weekend, President Trump called for Republicans to vote in favor of releasing the files. However, even with the House's vote, the legislation still needs to make its way through the Senate and get the president's signature. The acting chief of the Federal Emergency Management Agency will step down after hurricane season. Monday, David Richardson submitted his letter of resignation to the Department of Homeland Security. Richardson's departure comes after months of public controversy and internal frustration at FEMA. Scripps News Group Joe St. George will join us at 6:12 with the latest. And Corpus Christi City Council will take a second look at Inner Harbor Desal today. Council will consider a motion that would authorize a memorandum of understanding with Corpus Christi Desal partners. The group was the second bidder in the project and now primed to take over after Council ended its contract with Kiewit back in September. If approved, the MOU will allow the group to prepare a price proposal for design and construction. The cost of the project still stands at $1.2 billion.
I'm Stephanie Molina, your neighborhood news reporter in Robstown, where police say a 16-year-old was shot over the weekend. I spoke with them about the case and the concerns from neighbors. Over the weekend, Robstown Police Department responded to a shooting at the 700 block of West Avenue C. Chief of Police Mike Tamez tells me a 16-year-old male teen was shot by another 17-year-old male after having a disagreement over owing someone money.
It just turned out both of them had weapons. They both started shooting at each other.
I spoke to neighbors to see how they feel about the crime in the area. Some told me off camera they feel fine with the way things are. But for Jeanette Ruiz, who grew up in Robstown, describes feeling 80% safe. She did not know about the shooting over the weekend.
It's unfortunate. Weapons, shouldn't be around kids, especially not everyone is mature, emotionally mature.
RPD tell me there were 5 shootings that left victims injured last year and 5 so far this year. But the department says there have been no murder cases in the past 2 years. Chief Tamez says it is not often you see juveniles with weapons like what happened Sunday.
A few months ago we had a rise in shots fired calls, but not where we actually had victims that had been shot.
They had implemented more patrol back then to keep crime down. However, Chief Tamez says police are limited as to what they can do and enforce.
What could prevent all of this is if we had parents that actually engaged in these kids' lives. Hold the parents responsible. You know, there's no reason a 16-year-old should be out at 2:30 in the morning with a firearm.
Police say currently the 16-year-old is in surgery and the 17-year-old is in Nueces County Sheriff's Office jail with the charge of aggravated assault with deadly weapon.
This is the consequence of allowing your kids to get out and just do whatever they want.
Chief Tamez says they plan to have more officers out patrolling the area during the weekends. In Robstown, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Stephanie Molina, Chris 6 News.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones, taking a live look out at our Snoopy's Pier sky cam thanks to Matthew CCAC. You can see a little bit of cloud cover out there with the return of that moisture we've been seeing over the past few days. Cloud cover, and then the water's looking nice and calm as well. The causeway in view, a few cars starting to take it as we're heading through the 6 a.m. hour now, 76 degrees. Those winds out of the south-southeast 9 miles an hour, and with those winds around, we're not seeing too much fog luckily right now. Taking a look back at yesterday first, definitely warm out there, 89 degrees. We were chasing that record of 91 back from 1906. The morning lows, though, not even close. 33 degrees was that record back from 1959. And of course, we know coming up on that 13-inch mark in terms of a rainfall deficit for 2025. But luckily, there is rain back in the forecast. Current temperatures out there in the upper 70s along the coast, 77 in Port Aransas right now, 69 the mark in Beeville, 69 also the mark in San Diego. Cotulla coming in at 75 degrees this morning. So a good spread of those temperatures across the coastal bend. And those dew points are pretty close as well in the lower 70s along the coast, if not the upper 60s as you work your way inland. So you might think this is the perfect recipe for some fog, but with the winds that we have in place, most of us staying in the clear this morning. Beeville down to about 2.5 miles out there, but the rest of us 7 or above going into the morning hours. So I'm going to keep my eyes on it, but I think with the wind in place, shouldn't be too bad as we're heading through our morning hours. Taking a look at that dog walking forecast. Today we've got Shredder, Chico, and Mika, just the trio here, maybe ready to stir up some trouble, but I think it's going to be the good kind as we go through our Tuesday. By 9 a.m., 80 degrees, 84 there by 11 a.m., entering those mid-80s, definitely heading into those lunch hour. And you can see those winds also out of the south pretty much all day, going to be picking up to about 10 to 15 miles an hour as we're heading towards that lunch hour. But with the humidity in place that we were talking about, that's going to be making it feel like the mid-90s outside by about 3 to 4 p.m., feeling like 93 to 4 degrees. So a toasty Tuesday on the way for us, but there is that hope in sight. You can see that cold front working its way across the hill country, going to be making its way into the coastal bend by the time we're heading into the weekend, especially by Thursday to Friday at least. You can see that on the 7-day forecast. Unfortunately, not going to be a major cool down for us. Just going to stir up those rain chains. Is pretty cool, pretty good. You can see it slowly going down to those lower 80s, 83 degrees on the board there by the time we're heading into Saturday, but nearly daily rain chains is starting from tomorrow and then going even into Friday. You can see by the Thursday night and Friday night still dealing with some of those rain chains. Hopefully pick up a good 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of rain, but overnight lows luckily going down to the lower 60s by the weekend.
FEMA's acting chief is stepping down. Coming up on Sunrise, Scripps News Group Joe St. George will join us. He has more on the future of FEMA. Welcome back, everyone. It is 6:11 on your Tuesday morning, and we're taking a live look at our Skycam, looking over SPID. Lots of you guys are already heading out to work, taking the kiddos to school, and we're wishing you guys a great start to your morning. Meteorologist Stephen Jones is standing by with a look at your forecasts. But first, we have some national news to get to. David Richardson, the acting chief of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, is stepping down after hurricane season. He submitted his letter of resignation on Monday to the Department of Homeland Security. So what happens next? To talk more about this, we bring in our Deputy Political Director, Joe St. George. Good morning, Joe. Can you tell us who will be in charge of FEMA, and is the future of FEMA in doubt?
Well, there's a number of Texans, obviously, unfortunately, became acutely aware of FEMA this year with the horrific flooding. If you live anywhere near the coast and the Gulf in Texas, you always know that hurricane season brings the possibility of catastrophe, knock on wood, or in my case, knock on marble this morning. It's been a light hurricane season here in the United States. And David Richardson had been leading FEMA for several months. He faced a lot of scrutiny scrutiny following the response from FEMA following the Texas floods. Lawmakers previously called for him to step down. He has stepped down, essentially saying that his point of serving in the administration was always just to get through this year's hurricane season. His chief of staff will be taking over in the near future. So if you're someone, a loved one in Texas has an outstanding claim or questions, it's not like that FEMA is not going to be run. In fact, the Department of Homeland Security and the Trump administration, they oversee FEMA in the chain of command. They remain committed to serving Americans as needed. But the end of your question there, I think, is the most important part, and that is, what does FEMA look like this time next year? I mean, earlier this year, the Trump administration was openly talking about major reforms, gutting of FEMA. Some conservatives in Texas, some conservatives around the country, they would like to see state emergency management agencies really take the lead, that the federal government block grant the money, just give the money to the Texas Emergency Management Agency, let them handle emergency response. Why does the federal government need to be involved? Critics of that plan say, well, not every state is equally equipped. Texas may be better equipped to handle emergencies than, let's say, Mississippi, for instance. Again, that's a pending debate that we're expecting to have. The Trump administration always said, let's get through this hurricane season, and then we'll talk about what FEMA looks like in the future. That future is nearly here, with hurricane season ending in short order. But again, FEMA will still be run. If you have questions, FEMA's still being operated, but we just don't know what it looks like this time next year.
All right, Joe. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and we'll talk to you again very soon.
This 25-page document could be an essential part of San Patricio County's industrial horizon. The plan, finalized in October, is to serve as a blueprint to guide where new heavy industries should be located in the county. It identifies more than 100,000 acres deemed suitable for things like oil refineries, chemical plants, and steel mills. At the same time, creating municipal growth areas around the cities. And at their recommendation, the county would stop offering tax incentives to discourage heavy industry from locating next to residential communities. But the plan is facing pushback. Commissioners argue the plan is backdoor zoning, which is not allowed for Texas counties.
But to put it down in a plan and when you attach abatements to it is wrong.
And while other commissioners defended it, the path forward at this time remains unclear.
Well, howdy and happy Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones, getting a good look at a live look at Snoopy's Superior Sky Cam, brought to us by Matthews CCAC. You can see a pretty humid morning on our hands, 76 degrees. Those winds also out of the south-southeast, 5 to 10 miles an hour, and you can see the cloud cover also in place. Luckily, not too much fog out there this morning, but still the potential as we go through about the next hour or so. The almanac from yesterday, very warm. We were record chasing, got to 89 degrees. That record was 91, back from 1906, but the morning low is not even close, 33. Compared to 70 degrees is what we were at yesterday. And rainfall wise, coming up on that 13-inch mark, shy of where we should be for this time of the year, but luckily there's rain back in the forecast. For right now, those current temperatures, a good spread across the Coastal Bend. 77 there in Port Aransas, 68 over in Kingsville, as well as Alice and Beeville off to the north this morning. Off to the northwest, Cotulla coming in at 75 degrees, so a good 9 degrees of spread across the Coastal Bend from east to west this morning. And when we're looking at that dog walking forecast today, we've got a trio on the board: Shredder, Chico, and Mika, ready to get up to no good, but I think it's going to be the good kind as we head through our Tuesday. You can see 9 a.m. those temperatures going to be 80 degrees, 84 by about 11 a.m. Still those mid 80s as we're going through the lunchtime hour, with those winds south about 10 to 15 miles an hour. So not too bad out there for Shredder, Chico, and Mika. Looking at your forecast highs for today, the mid 80s along the coast, the upper 80s as you work your way inland, but going to be feeling quite a bit warmer thanks to all that humidity in place, and that humidity is not going anywhere for the time being. You can see it riding in the very humid category really even through the weekend. We're supposed to get a good cold front, but not going to be too strong, not going to dry us out a ton as we go through the weekend, but luckily that's going to lead to an increase in rain chances by the weekend as well. You can see our next weather maker on the way off to the west coast, going to send a piece of energy our way already as we're going into Thursday and Friday, but by the weekend still going to be dealing with that low pressure working into the Four Corners region, at least in the wake of that first piece of energy. So really some sustained rain chances and upper level energy through the weekend time frame, and we'll see how it shapes up for next week as well. Currently the Doppler radar nice and quiet out there, but there's still the potential to see a spotty shower or two as we're going through our Tuesday. But still, if you see one, I'd consider yourself very lucky. But then as we go into tomorrow, picks up just a little bit on the board. You can see a few more spotty showers out there. Still not going to be any major downpours or a drought buster for the time being, but still we're going to take every drop we can get and As we go through the days ahead, that's where we start to see more and more rain pretty much daily picking up, but still only going to be about 40 to 50% of those daily rain chances. So I'm still hopeful, but we're going to need quite a bit. You know, we're almost at that 13-inch mark in terms of a deficit. You can see the sustained rain chances really starting there by Friday, holding on through the weekend, even off to starting next week by that Monday, holding on to that scattered activity across the coastal bend. So hopefully we start to see a good drought buster into the region. Just for now, we're on the tail end of it. You can see anywhere from about a quarter of an inch to a half an inch across the Corpus Christi area, but still subject to change, of course, being on the tail end of that system. Luckily, temperatures do decrease just a little bit down to those lower 80s by the weekend, with overnight lows going from those 70s to the 60s, holding on to those daily rain chances into next week.
Making sure no family goes hungry. I'm Jada Jenkins, and I'll show you how 2 Westside businesses are giving back this holiday season.
This is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm, battling for justice, winning for the community.
A local veterans group is using the power of film to spark a deeper conversation. The Veterans Roundtable of Corpus Christi will be showing a 20-minute preview of a documentary called Firewatch this Thursday. Born from grief, driven by justice, fueled by love. Those are the 3 messages coming from the 3-part series that's wrapping up. The title of the documentary, Firewatch, hinting at Rosie and Leroy Torres from Burn Pit 360 and their advocacy, standing watch over those sick and dying from toxic exposure. The showing this Thursday will be followed by a briefing over the PACT Act.
But I started talking to them, say, look, friend, we need to get behind this. I'd really like to brief the veterans on what's going on with the PACT Act, and it's a perfect segment, right? It's a perfect segue to you know, look, it hits you with this film, and then I'm going to teach you what you can apply for.
Tonight at 6 on this week's Veterans in Focus, I'll be speaking with the producer of the film over what inspired the project and the future plans for even more people to watch.
Well, good Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend, getting a live look at our USS Lexington camp thanks to First Community Bank. You can see the Harbor Bridge in view, 73 degrees. A few cars starting to take that Harbor Bridge's view with the aquarium nice and lit up this morning as well. And whenever we're looking at the traffic around Corpus Christi, not too bad as we're stepping out the door, plenty of greens on the board. Let's get an in-depth look here at the Harbor Bridge to and from Portland this morning. Going to be good and green that way as we head into Corpus Christi. Ocean Drive, no major slowdowns to report, as well as SPID, Saratoga, and Crosstown Expressway, all 3 coming in the clear this morning as you're heading out the door. As we work our way a little bit closer to the island, Flower Bluff now. Flower Bluff Drive, no major slowdowns there. Just looks like a very minor one at that. Probably don't even have to plan for it. Waldron Road, though, good and green the whole way, and just the normal slowdown we see closer to the gates there at the Naval Air Station. Some of those drive times for you this morning. Going to be sitting at 22 minutes from downtown to the island. Portland to downtown sitting around that 8-minute marks. Cal Allen to downtown 15 minutes. So wherever you're coming from and going to, going to be good and green to head out the door and kick off your Tuesday morning.
And we have a quick programming note. For those of you who watch KZTV 10 with an antenna, it will be temporarily off the air today around 10 a.m. so our crews can work on the broadcast tower. It'll be back up and running as soon as it can. Cable, satellite, and other services will not be affected. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday there, Coastal Bend, getting a live look out at Snoopy's Skycam thanks to Matthew CCAC. Just a beautiful morning on our hands as the sun is coming up. You can see also that cloud cover in place thanks to all the moisture we've seen working into the area, but luckily not too bad on the fog front as we're looking out there this morning, but there is still a little bit of patchy fog in the Coastal Bend. Water's nice and calm out there as well on our Skycam, and as we're looking at those temperatures out and about today, really not too bad. Those upper 70s along the coast, 77, maybe just a little warm in Port Aransas this morning. Still some 60s on the board, though. 68 there in Alice as well as Kingsville this morning. Even off to the north in Beeville coming in at 68 degrees. Off to the northwest, Cotulla coming in around 75 or so this morning. So a good 8 degrees of spread across the Coastal Bend, or even 9 degrees as you take in Port Aransas. As we're looking at those dew points, though, like I said, you're noticing the humidity as you step out the door. Those lower 70s along the coast as you work your way inland, still sitting in those upper 60s. and that's going to lead to a little bit of patchy fog, but luckily with the winds we have in place, not as bad as we saw yesterday. You can see really only Beeville right now down to a reduced visibility of about a mile. The rest of us coming in pretty clear as you're heading out the door, so if you're in Beeville, just keep that in mind as you're heading out the door today. Looking at your dog walking forecast, we've got a trio on the board, Shredder, Chico, and Mika. They're ready to cause some trouble, but I think it's going to be the good kind as we're heading through our Tuesday. You can see 9 a.m. the temperature is going to be 80 degrees, 84 there by 11 a.m. Still those mid-80s for the lunch hour with winds out of the south about 10 to 15 miles an hour, so not quite as breezy as we saw yesterday as well, but definitely going to be a humid and pretty toasty Tuesday for us. You can see feels like temperatures getting into those lower 90s, even peaking about 93 to 4 degrees 3 to 4 p.m. before we go into those overnight hours. Only back down to those 80s it looks like for now, so pretty warm heading through the next couple of days, really thanks to all that moisture we're seeing in the atmosphere right now. Forecast highs in your neighborhood, the low or the mid 80s along the coast, those upper 80s inland, but just like you saw on the feels like temperatures, all of us likely to be feeling like those mid 90s or to lower 90s as we go through our Tuesday. And the muggy meter not going anywhere for the time being, still riding that very humid category with 70 to 75 for the dew point. So the moisture is in place. We just need that upper level support, and it is also on the way. Luckily, you can see off towards the west coast here by California. This is going to send a piece of energy our way, especially by Thursday into Friday, but still going to be pretty sustained. You see that next low pressure still in the wake of it as it splits. This energy comes our way, but then Saturday into Sunday still going to be holding on to this upper level system, working its way into the area by the weekend and really into next week. So that's why we're still going to have the rain chances in place, because we have the moisture. We still need that lift, and that's what's on the way for the time being. Doppler radar nice and quiet out there right now, but there is the chance for some spotty activity as we go through the morning hours and especially into tomorrow morning. That's where it picks up even a little bit more. Still not looking at like any downpours out there or drought busters, but you can see a few more of those green specks on the board. So still going to be lucky, and we're going to take every drop we can get as we head through the day, because we're coming up on that 13-inch mark in terms of a rainfall deficit for 2025. Luckily, the rain chances do stay with us into next week as well, like we saw in the upper level pattern. By Friday into Monday, still holding on to that isolated to scattered activity. Current model guidance has us around the 1/4 of an inch to maybe a 1/2 of an inch, picking it up across the next 7 days here in the coastal bend. You can see it working less and less as you work your way to the south, but still definitely subject to change depending on exactly where that upper level energy goes, and those showers, of course, where they set up going through these next few days. For the 7-day forecast, not a major cool down on the way, but a decent one, 83 degrees there by that Saturday time frame, with daily rain chances into the weekend and next week, with overnight lows going down into those upper 60s.
Still paying last year's holiday bills, nearly half of shoppers expect to go into debt this season. I'm Holly Furfer with simple moves to stop that debt spiral.
Welcome back. Thanksgiving is the busiest holiday for travel, and this year, roads and airports during the Thanksgiving holiday period are expected to be busier than ever. AAA predicts nearly 82 million people will travel at least 50 miles from home during the period that runs from the Tuesday before Thanksgiving to Monday, December 1st. That's 1.6 million more travelers compared to last Thanksgiving, and a new record. AAA projects the majority of people will travel by car. 6 million U.S. travelers are expected to take domestic flights over the Thanksgiving holiday period, a slight increase from last year. As tariffs shake up holiday wish lists, financial anxiety is forcing Americans to rethink their holiday spending. Scripps News Group national correspondent Holly Furfer shows what shoppers and travelers can do to save.
This year, a lot of holiday shoppers are still paying off last year's bills. So this year, many vow to keep wish lists smaller to keep debt from spiraling. Shoppers like Samantha Hunter are planning for cutbacks.
As a parent, I've kind of tried to lessen what I'm spending.
A recent American Institute of CPAs poll finds 47% of holiday shoppers and travelers anticipate going into debt, and 1/4 who make a budget say they probably won't stick to it. With prices high, shopping expert Trey Bodge urges shoppers to prepare ahead of Black Friday.
Look back at your credit card bill from, say, January of this year. Did you bring debt into the new year? And if so, make some tweaks.
The platform Coupon Follow finds 45% of Americans feel pressured to spend or give more than they can comfortably afford during the holidays.
I think people are feeling pressure from a lot of different areas, and they're going to have to make decisions about, what is it that they want to spend their money on this year.
NerdWallet's Sarah Rathner urges shoppers to break the debt cycle by swapping pricey gift exchanges for cheaper, meaningful alternatives.
If you haven't figured out how you're going to start that conversation, now is a good time, because I promise you, somebody else in your circle feels exactly the same way, and they are going to be so relieved that you brought it up.
Ways to gift without piling on debt. Buy fewer, higher quality items. Give homemade or DIY gifts. Swap physical gifts for shared experiences. And use coupon apps and reward points. Lastly, don't tack on too many gifts for yourself.
Don't get into the one for them, one for me trap that so many of us fall into.
Holly Furfer, Scripps News Group.
Well, good Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend. Taking a live look at our Snoopy's Pier Skycam. Thanks to Matthew CCAC. You can see a beautiful sunrise on our hands. The water's nice and calm out there as well, but pretty humid, 76 degrees with those dew points in the 70s as well. Winds out of the south-southeast about 9 miles an hour. As we're taking a look out there, just definitely feeling the humidity out there today. You can see a little bit of cloud cover also making its return on the picture. I'll step out of the way so you can see really the causeway in view, and then a few cars starting to take that roadway as well as we're heading towards that 7 a.m. hour, but luckily traffic-wise hasn't been too bad on the board out there today. Whenever we're seeing those temperatures around the entire region, looks like it's giving me just a little bit of trouble here, but as we look at those temperatures outside in the entire region, you can see those upper 70s along the coast, and then as you work your way inland, some of those upper 60s as well, 68 degrees there in Beeville as well as Alice this morning, but going to be warming up quite a bit today. I'll get into that full 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
Now, 20 minutes of non-stop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of nonstop news. I'm Michaela Chavez. Brian and Michelle have the day off. We have plenty of neighborhood news for you this morning, but first, let's check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones. Good morning, Stephen. Happy Tuesday. How are those roadways looking?
Good morning, Michaela. So far, not too bad, and happy Tuesday to you as well. But
thank you.
As you see on the board behind me, lots of green out there today. Luckily, no rain to be slowing you down either. Just a little bit of patchy fog in Beeville to be mindful of course. Here's a live look out at our SPID Skycam. Just a gorgeous morning on our hands here in Corpus Christi, and a few more cars also starting to hit the roadways now as we're heading towards that 7 a.m. hour. Whenever we're getting a good in-depth look here at our roadways, let's first start with the Harbor Bridge to and from Portland this morning. Going to be good and green both directions if you're heading that way. Into Corpus Christi, Ocean Drive, no major slowdowns to report there, as well as Ennis Jocelyn, SPID, Saratoga, Crosstown Expressway, all three coming in clear. Just a minor slowdown there as you get to SPID from Rodfield Road. Over into Flower Bluff Drive, no major slowdowns, although Waldron Road, just want to be mindful, a couple extra minutes there maybe. And as we get closer to the gates at the Naval Air Station, then kind of normal slowdown we see there as well. Looking at those drive times for you, also going to be pretty well in the green this morning, sitting at 22 minutes from downtown to the island. Portland to downtown, about that 9-minute mark. Cal Allen to downtown, sitting about 15 minutes. So wherever you're coming from and going to, going to be good and green to head out the door and then kick off your Tuesday morning.
Turning seawater into drinking water as a solution to our region's drought problem is the talk of the town. And one of you asked, why doesn't Corpus Christi sell the salt byproduct of desal? It's a good question. So the salty leftovers from the desalination process is called brine, and it can be worth a ton of money. And we're not just talking table salt here. It's packed with minerals and metals like lithium, magnesium, copper, and zinc. The same stuff we need to build EV batteries, smartphones, and military fighter jets. And some companies are already jumping in to cash out. So I asked CCW if there were any plans to sell byproducts of desal, and they said, well, yeah, there have been conversations in the past about harvesting these minerals, and a couple companies have even reached out to express interest. But CCW says there's no formal plan because we don't even have a functioning desal plant here yet. And that's because City Council basically fired the company who offered to build the plant for them for the price of $1 billion. Now, there are about 18,000 desal plants around the world pulling 23 trillion gallons of seawater every year. And for every gallon of fresh water that they make, another gallon of brine is left behind. And that's enough to fill 50,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools. And And inside that salty sludge, roughly $2.2 trillion worth of metals, according to researchers. Now, Freeport, Texas is already on it. The coastal city is home to America's largest magnesium plant, and they've been turning seawater into metal for warplanes since before World War II. And a California startup is already doing this with the financial backing of the Department of Defense. Why? Because China controls about 85% of the world's magnesium, a key ingredient in the production of steel. And as trade tensions between the US and China continue to rise, making metal here in America would strengthen manufacturing and our national security. But here in Corpus Christi, the debate isn't just about money and metal. It's an environmental and moral one.
No diesel! No diesel!
Opponents say any brine discharge by these plants would damage marine life, raise salinity levels in the bay, and add industrial pollution to areas like Hillcrest, a historically Mexican and Black neighborhood that's already surrounded by refineries and has a long legacy of segregation and neglect. Residents there have already filed complaints under the Fair Housing Act and Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, arguing that building a desal plant in their backyard would be discriminatory and harmful. So could we one day sell the salt and metals of desal? Maybe. The technology exists and the interest is real. But until a plant is actually built and a plan is formally approved, that waste stays just what it is, an untapped gold mine beneath waves of unknown consequences.
Thanks, Leah. For more on her story, head on over to our website, christv.com. We still have plenty of neighborhood news to get to, from an industrial growth plan for San Patricio County to crime concerns in Robstown. We have you covered in your neighborhood check-in.
This 25-page document could be an essential part of San Patricio County's industrial horizon. The plan finalized in October is to serve as a blueprint to guide where new heavy industry should be located in the county. It identifies more than 100,000 acres deemed suitable for things like oil refineries, chemical plants, and steel mills. At the same time, creating municipal growth areas around the cities. And at their recommendation, the county would stop offering tax incentives to discourage heavy industry from locating next to residential communities. But the plan is facing pushback. Commissioners argue the plan is backdoor zoning, which is not allowed for Texas counties.
But to put it down in a plan and where you attach abatements to it is wrong.
And while other commissioners defended it, the path forward at this time remains unclear.
Over the weekend, Robstown Police Department responded to a shooting at the 700 block of West Avenue C. Chief of Police Mike Tamez tells me a 16-year-old male teen was shot by another 17-year-old male after having a disagreement over owing someone money. I spoke to neighbors to see how they feel about the crime in the area. Some told me off camera they feel fine with the way things are. But for Jeanette Ruiz, who grew up in Robstown, describes feeling 80% safe. She did not know about the shooting over the weekend. RPD tell me there were 5 shootings that left victims injured last year and 5 so far this year. But the department says there have been no murder cases in the past 2 years. Chief Tamez says it is not often you see juveniles with weapons like what happened Sunday. However, Chief Tamez says police are limited as to what they can do and enforce. Police say currently the 16-year-old is in surgery and the 17-year-old is in Nueces County Sheriff's Office jail with the charge of aggravated assault with deadly weapons.
Well, howdy and happy Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones, taking a live look out at our USS Lexington cam brought to us by First Community Bank. You can see the Harbor Bridge in view, just a few cars starting to take it this morning as well. A good amount of cloud cover as well with all the moisture that we have in the atmosphere. Dew points are in the 70s and those temperatures also in the 70s. So as you're stepping out the door, you're definitely going to notice the mugginess in the air out there. First, taking a look back at yesterday, it was also a warm day, record chasing, even getting up to 89 degrees compared to that record at 91 degrees set back in 1906. The morning, not even close. 33 was that record back in 1959, and plenty of rainfall needed to make up for 2025 so far, quickly coming up on that 13-inch mark, but luckily there is rain back in the forecast. Just how much is still up in the air a little bit. Those current temperatures out there, 68 degrees, the cool spot in Beeville this morning, as well as Alice and Kingsville out there and off to the south and over into the east. Port Aransas coming in at 77 degrees, 73 off to the north in George West, 75 in Cotulla, so a good spread of temperatures out there and a little bit of patchy patchy fog developing mainly off towards Beeville this morning. About a half-mile statute visibility there in Beeville, so be mindful of that. The rest of us coming in pretty clear. Looks like Kingsville down to about 5 miles, but in comparison, not too bad to what we were seeing yesterday. First, we've got that dog walking forecast for you today. We've got a trio on the board, Shredder, Chico, and Mika here, maybe ready to get up to no good, but I think it's going to be the good kind as we go through this morning. You can see those temperatures going to be about 80 degrees by 9 a.m., 84 there by 11 a.m. Still those mid-80s by the time we're heading into the lunch hour. Winds out of the south about 10 to 15 miles an hour, so a bit of a breezy afternoon, but also a little bit less than we saw yesterday. Those daytime highs expected in your neighborhood, the mid-80s along the coast, 85 there at the Naval Air Station as well as Rockport, 87 here in Corpus Christi, the same number off to the west in Freer, 88 going to be that number we're expecting for Hebbronville as well as George West today, but feels like temperature is going to ride up quite a bit thanks to the humidity in the atmosphere, likely feeling like the 90s by peak heating today. For our upper level pattern, you can see our next weather maker on the way off the west coast there. First going to send a piece of energy our way by the time we're heading into Thursday and Friday, really starting up those rain chances, but by the weekend you can see still holding on to a lot of that energy trying to work into the central United States, so those sustained rain chances going to remain around the Lone Star State, it looks like, even to start off next week. But like I said, the amount of rain we're going to see, that's the part that's really still up in the air. For now, still a clear Doppler radar out there, maybe a few specks on the board as we go through our Tuesday, but it picks up a little bit starting as soon as tomorrow. You can see more of those greens on the board. Still not going to be any major downpours, but we're going to take every drop we can get because we're in such of a rainfall deficit right now. But as we go into the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday time frame, that's where those rain chances really start to peak towards that 40 and 50% mark, and hopefully picking up a good quarter of an inch to half an inch of rain. You see this cold front on the board, but unfortunately doesn't cool us off majorly going into the weekend, only down to about those lower 80s, with overnight lows going down into the 60s, with holding on to those daily rain chances into next week.
I'm your neighborhood news reporter Jada Jenkins on the west side. It's no surprise grocery prices are so high right now, and that's why 2 West Side restaurants have teamed up together to help families who can't afford a holiday meal. Chris 6 News has covered El Vago Burger and Barbecue in the past. They're known for giving back to the community. This year, owner Alex Arredondo is taking it even further. He tells me he's planning to give away around 500 Thanksgiving plates on November 24th.
I do it because nobody else is going to do it. That's why I do it.
Alex says he remembers what it feels like to struggle and hopes someone would lend a hand.
I used to be in that position a long time ago where I wasn't able to provide, you know what I mean? I had to do whatever I could.
Alex says he learned the spirit of giving from his mother. He organized his first food giveaway 3 years ago. That first year, it was just his family making hundreds of plates.
People really don't unite anymore. Nobody really wants to help nobody no more. What was your name?
That's when he came up with the idea to partner with Smack Eats, another West Side restaurant just 3 minutes down the road. The owner, Kat Hunter, says she understands the importance of family. She's a mom of 4.
I know it's just a meal, but to somebody's family, it could be like, you know, the best thing about their week.
She set her restaurant's hours around her children's school schedule.
I'm busy, but you know, if me cooking a little bit can make a difference, and I don't mind doing it at all.
Both Kat and Alex say their friendship was built on 2 things.
We're 2 people that really love food and we love to help people, so it's going to be full of love.
The free Thanksgiving dinners are for anyone who wants to show up. The food will be served at El Vago on West Point and Barrera.
I just want them to be happy, you know, just so they can sit with their family and have a meal.
Alex and Kat say they hope struggling families know they're not alone. On the West Side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Jada Jenkins, Chris 6 News.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
The U.S. House is expected to hold a vote today on the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. The vote comes after 4 Republicans signed a petition with Democrats to require a formal vote on releasing the files. In a sharp about turn over the weekend, President Trump called for Republicans to vote in favor of releasing the files. However, even with the House's vote, the legislation still needs to make its way through the Senate and get the president's signature. The National Transportation Safety Board is set to hold a public meeting today to determine the cause of the Key Bridge's collapse. In a preliminary report, the NTSB concluded the Dolly ship experienced 2 power blackouts within a couple of minutes before it crashed into the bridge. It also determined that Maryland did not perform critical vulnerability assessments on structural risks of the bridge. 6 construction workers were killed when a cargo ship slammed into the Key Bridges last year. The acting chief of the Federal Emergency Management Agency will step down after hurricane season. Monday, David Richardson submitted his letter of resignation to the Department of Homeland Security. Richardson's departure comes after months of public controversy and internal frustration at FEMA. According to sources, plans were already in the works to remove him from the role. Homeland Security officials are getting ready for major reforms that could fundamentally reshape FEMA's future. Corpus Christi City Council will take a second look at Inner Harbor Desal today. Council will consider a motion that would authorize a memorandum of understanding with Corpus Christi Desal partners. The group was the second bidder in the project and now primed to take over after Council ended its contract with Kiewit back in September. If approved, the MOU will allow the group to prepare a price proposal for design and construction. The cost of the project still stands at $1.2 billion. The Corpus Christi Metropolitan Planning Organization has voted in favor of a RTA fair price increase. Starting in January, the price to ride will go up to $1, along with other approved changes. Transfers, currently free, will now cost $0.25. Monthly passes jump from $30 to $35. The changes come despite a federal equity study that showed the increases could harm the system's most vulnerable riders. It's the first base fare increase in nearly 20 years. And we have a quick programming note. KZTV 10 will be temporarily off the air today around 10 a.m. for those of you who watch with an antenna. It's so our crews can work on the broadcast tower. It'll be back up and running as soon as it can. Cable, satellite, and other services will not be affected. We apologize for the inconvenience. And Starbucks is out with a new holiday beverage, but you can only get it at Target. The frozen peppermint hot chocolate is available exclusively at Starbucks cafes inside Target stores. Prices for the Frappuccino-based drink start at just under $6 for a grande size. Most of the retail giant's 2,000 locations include a Starbucks, but this is the first time the two companies have teamed up for a holiday drink. You know, that looks delicious. I need to just be brave and try a holiday drink. Stop being so stuck in my ways with that delicious refresher.
Oh, I mean, it does look pretty tasty. You know, I think it's pretty good for South Texas too, as well as we're looking out there to get the frozen hot chocolate. I think that'd be pretty tasty for us if we have a little bit of a warmer winter, you know?
Yeah, I wonder how long it's gonna, I mean, it's a holiday drink, so I'm assuming it's gonna last maybe past Christmas,
maybe the New Year,
fingers
maybe
crossed.
maybe the New Year's Day or so. That's what I would think at least, but I don't know if it's gonna take my favorite spot. You know, I like that iced peppermint mocha off their holiday menu. So you don't have a favorite off the holiday menu?
Off the holiday menu, I do not, but I do go to the Starbucks and Target a lot, so that might be the one.
There you go. Might just have to try it out while they have it. You know, it's a limited time. That's some of the best stuff. You got to try out that limited time stuff.
Yes, you get it.
Unfortunately, not. I mean, it's actually a pretty good drink for today, I should say. You know, it being a frozen drink, but unfortunately, just not feeling like the season is what I was gonna say. It's still a little bit humid out there today, and you can see here's a live look out at our USS Lexington cam brought to us by First Community Bank, sitting at 72 degrees. Those dew points about 70. Definitely feeling the mugginess in the air out there, and you can see it on the cloud cover as well. Some thick clouds out there with all that moisture in place for the time being. But as we go into the week ahead, luckily that moisture going to lead to some increased rain chances by the back half of the week and even into the weekend. First, I want to take a look back at yesterday, though. We were record chasing for that daytime high, got up to 89 degrees compared to the record of 91 back from 1906. The morning lows not even close, came in at 70 degrees compared to that record at 33 back from 1959, and definitely a lot of rain needed to make up for 2025. Not going to get all of it in this one go, but luckily we have some on the board. For those current temperatures, 76 over at the Naval Air Station, same for Rockport, and 77 over there in Port Aransas. 68 out in Kingsville, the same number in Beeville this morning. 69 in San Diego. Cotulla coming in at about 75 degrees, and those dew points, like I said, definitely feeling the mugginess as you're stepping out the door. Those upper 60s as you work your way inland, lower 70s along the coast. Perfect recipe for some patchy fog, but luckily we have some more winds than we did yesterday, stirring up the atmosphere, not letting as much of that fog settle in, but still Beeville down to about 0.8 statute miles of visibility. Want to be mindful of that as you're heading out the door. Alice around 4, but still not too bad compared to what we were sitting at yesterday with more of that patchy fog out there. Looking at feels like temperatures, though, with that humidity in place, going to be feeling like the low to mid 90s into this afternoon, 2 to 3 p.m., 93 degrees there by about 4 p.m. So a little bit of a toasty Tuesday on our hands. Want to drink that water and try to limit the time outdoors. Of course, just going to be a little bit warmer than we'd expect for mid to late November. For those forecast highs in your neighborhood, the mid 80s along the coast, upper 80s as you work your way inland, but with the humidity in place, all of us likely to feel like those 90s as we head into the day ahead. For your current big weather picture, you can see this is our next weather maker on the way, at least part of it. That next cold front you can see along the hill country in West Texas, that's going to make its way in slowly but surely through the Lone Star State with some upper level support. Still waiting for it to get here. You can see more of that area working into the area, but that's where we're going to see more of those rain chances working in on the 7-day forecast, especially by the back half of the weekend, with temperatures starting to decrease towards those lower 80s, 83 by Saturday, overnight lows in those 60s, but I mean, we got 13 inches of rain we need to make up for 2025. So right now we're looking at 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch, but I'm definitely excited for some more, showers and thunderstorms. What about you?
I am. You know who might not be excited? Shredder, Chico, and Mika.
Yeah,
they're stuck in my head. They're so cute.
They might enjoy the rain. Hopefully they get some good puddles out there.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Sunrise this morning, and we'll see you back here for Chris 6 News at noon.